Hey guys, in this video we will talk about async await in JavaScript. Async await was firstly introduced in ES8 to simplify async operations in JavaScript code. Before that we were promises in JavaScript that was using, but to make the code more readable and simple, in ES8 JavaScript introduced async await. So let's understand how it can help to code more manageable and readable with the example. Let's say we have a, function, async function. Let's say get user data, and we are making it fat arrow function, uh, and to make it a sync operation we simply use set timeout and set it one after 1 second. Here we let's say we have a const here and user name simply, and let's say any name John, and just return from your username, and we call it here store the value of user into, let's misspell it. Okay, so here we console here user. So first of all, let's see the output. Let's say undefined because of timeout. It's returned after the execution of the code. So it's saying return undefined. To resolve it, we can use the promise here, and use the callback here and move the set timeout under the callback function or promise. So now we are returning username, and it's returning and saved into the actually still we don't have the value of username. Actually promise takes two a statement for handling. Here we need to pass resolve and checked. So instead of return here, we either it should be a resolve or checked. So if we don't resolve it here, the third statement is the third state is pending. So promise return three statement. First one is resolve. If it's successfully executed, if we have something error or we want to show some error while returning some error, so we use the reject. And if we don't return or resolve anything or reject, so it by default in the pending state. So let's, here we have a user and console here user. So also catch here, catch statement. So in case we have error, so we want to show that error also, error dot message. It's for error handling of the promise. So let's first of all run the code. It's saying 18 number line, sorry, okay, got it, we need to remove it. So after 1 second you can see we have the value of John. So as you can see, the code is seeing very massive. If you now like say we have only one function here that we want to execute, but the code seems very massive. Let's say if we have two or more function, asynchronous function here, and we want to handle it with the promise then statement, then or catch statement, it looks very massive. So to introduce introduction of async await was to simplify the things for asynchronous operations. Let's I have already covered the promises in my last video, where you can see that we have a user and companies object array, and we are using here get user data and get company data. So as you can see that we only use the two function within the then statement, and it looks very messy that we can't understand the whole code, how it works. So for output, let's run it to understand how it's working. So actually the output should be we are using the filter method to filter first of all the user and the company attach like relationship of user and companies. So as you can see that here we in below we get the user data based on the input name and name. So if we get the user and we want to get the associated company name. So as you can see that the Larry page associated with the Google here based on the user ID. So it's showing the output. But now we are going to achieve same with the async await operation to make it easily. Also this as we using then statement and nested then statement, it's also called the callback hell, which is very dangerous state of code when we have a multiple nested condition or multiple nested function that we want to call based on the output of the previous one. So as we have the user output, then we want to the company name, then further if we have more nested operation, then it looks very massive. So to solve it, we simply just comment it and use the async await. So here we simply, let's say, get async await, okay. So here is the async await, and we need to for async await making the function asynchronous, we need to pass here the async value here. So if we call it, it's called asynchronous function, and inside of this we can use await statement. So we have two functions declared where we were passing the code. So let's copy the function here, and we are passing the same value. Actually it's get company data, get user data, okay. Then we are calling it get user data. So let's first of all add await here and store the value into user data. Okay, so let's run it first. Okay, I think we haven't console the output. Let's console it. uh, okay, so we need to call the sync await as well here. As now we are calling this function, only this function, and it have the get user data calling with the await. So it's a synchronous function. So let's, okay, so the output we can see, we pass the name and name, key and value. So the key was name and value was Larry Page. So based on filter method we get this object. So now we have user data. We can call get company data also. So also save into company data, also use await here as we have. Okay, so we need to change it to company data dot id. So now let's run and call the same console here and change the variable company data and user data. So let's console here and run the code. So you can see the Larry Page is the CEO of Google. So as you can see that this was the code of sync the while we are using the promises then statement and then and catch statement. Now we are using this only 2 line. Actually it's a 2 line code. We are consoling here the 3rd line. So it's changed into only 3 line code. Also if we want to handle the error, we can add a try and catch block here. So it display also the error here. Let's change into the key that is not exist. Actually name one is not exist, and run the code. Okay, change it to error. So you can see it's come from no user data from here, that is a reject. So we can also use error handling with async await. So it makes the code very easy and looks very simplify the code. So that's the use of async await. So hopefully you like the video. If you really like, please hit like button and also subscribe the channel for watching and get notification of these types of videos. Thanks.